Alright, well, this pump has officially been running for 24 hours. I just checked up at the house, came out, got the RO going and everything, and nothing's coming out, so we're heading back to shut it off. There's probably a 95% chance that this is the last time I drive out here to turn it off or on the pump. So it's pretty much done here, guys. We just had our, not quite 24-hour run because it's not running right now, but it ran through the night. Our flower buds are full bloom. It's supposed to be, it only got down to 45 last night, and today is supposed to be 70. Tomorrow's like 65, then 58, and it's getting, I think tonight it's supposed to only be in the 50s, so I think it's probably it. The sap's starting to get kind of that little bit of a smell to it. Not too cloudy, surprisingly, but this is, I'm guessing this is probably the last tolerable syrup that we're going to be able to make this season, so I want to say short and sweet, but it really wasn't even sweet because we had 1% content. We've made half the syrup what we should have been just off the content alone. Then you throw in the short season, so not been a good season, guys. Not been a good season. So kind of glad it's over, to be honest. There's going to be some really big changes for me next year. We are going to go with a 600 or 1200 RO. Really want a 12, but I am not liking the price of the 12. So it's probably going to be expandable 600 if I had to take a guess. So, and then I also bought a 1,000-gallon bulk. Hang on, I have to slow this thing down here for a second. Use my foot throttle so I can control it better. With a reefer unit on it. So it's an old dairy tank. It's got the agitator on it, everything. So that'll be hooked up next year. So between the RO and that, we should be set on not having to rush around, and we can basically boil when we want to. So that's going to be a big one, and I think that's going to be a way better investment than anything at this point, especially for moving forward and how these seasons are becoming. So let's get out and turn this off real quick. Now let's look in here real quick. Yep. Nada. Let's flush this real quick. I would do that just by cracking this. Yeah, it's not running. See how much we got. There might be 200 gallons in here, guys. We'll take that. don't know if you guys have noticed yet, but there's no high tinsel in this woods. We just used all the chokers. And this is year 4. Who are you? Where'd you come from? I'm gonna have to walk this woods more often. Alright guys, just over 200 gallons. That's a win. That means we got just over a gallon of tap out here. For a late season like this and 70 degrees, I would say these check valves they're working, man. They really are. Because I know a lot of other people that don't use these check valve spiles that tapped after me. They're hardly getting runs right now. You're not gonna believe this because I don't believe it. We are still running. I'm gonna let it go. I'm not gonna boil for another 6 hours, so I'm gonna let it run. That's wild. This is 100% hard maples in here too. This is usually how I tell my season's done. This spot has these things all over the place. Pretty sure they're tulips. Once I see those popped up, we're pretty much over. So yeah, I'm gonna pump this off here and then I'm gonna let it run. Screw it. I mean, I'll come back and check it before I fire up to boil, and if there's, you know, another 75 gallons in there, I'll pump it off. If there's like 20, I'll probably just dump it. But that little suitcase generator and stuff, it's worth it. We're already at 100 gallons, so we'll see what we end up with it here. There's about 180 at this spot, between 180 and 200. So see where we're at. It looks like in the tank there that there's about 150 or so. So again, about a gallon per tap roughly. So we'll see what it finishes out here. All right guys, so we're just over 200 gallons. There's like 210 gallons right there. So if there's 180 here, we got well over a gallon per tap, and if there's 200 here, we basically got a gallon per tap. That's a win for this late in the season, for sure. I'm gonna let this pump, it's running, so we're gonna be back. So that means that potentially we could just keep going here with that. So check valves again. All right guys, well, just picked up another 80 gallons from Flanders Road there, where we left the pump going this morning. So that's another gallon of syrup. That was worth it. On our way home to pump this off into the tank, and then we're gonna fire up. So Brandon should be bringing some, and then Greg and Lisa will be bringing their last little bit too. So we're gonna get fired up when I get back and get her rolling.